Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, please subscribe. I'd really love that. If you're returning, how you doing? I have a bit of an update on the video that I did about Chase Bank and them closing accounts, banking accounts on people. So this was brought to my attention by a person who watched the video, and they said you might want to look into this a little bit more. And I was so grateful to that person because, you know, when you're doing research for, like, you know, for a subject to do, you know, to talk about, to do a video about, or whatever the case may be, you know, there's, you know, sometimes, you know, you just don't have access to a lot of information. So when this was brought to my attention, I said, oh my gosh, wow, you know, this makes a lot more sense now. You know what I'm saying? So JP Morgan Chase is shutting down accounts for companies that were owned by Dr. Joseph Mercola. Okay. And we know this, but the primary accounts for several Mercola owned businesses, including Mercola Market, are being shut down in August. Okay. So this is next month that this is happening, even though it's only within a few days. So financial institutions, they have an obligation to know that their customers, to monitor their transactions that flow through the customer's accounts. And that was in a notice that was put out by Chase Bank. After careful consideration, they said, we decided to close your account because of unexpected activity on these or other Chase accounts. Okay, well, what is the unexpected activity? What was it? Was there fraud? Was there something that happened in another country? Was, was his account hacked? What? Nothing is being brought here that's clear here, you know? So the account, so after Mercola and CEO Stephen Rye, Mr. Rye's wife, Chief Financial Officer Amelia Legaspi, Mrs. Legaspi's husband, and Mrs. Legaspi's son, all of their accounts are being closed. Why? You know, just because you don't like this doctor or whatever the case may be, or there might have been fraud on his accounts, so you're going to close down everybody who works for him, all of their accounts? No, there's something wrong here. So the account holders, they're being given until August 11th to move all of their funds to another institution. Well, first of all, there's going to be a black mark, a black check mark or a red flag on their names, on their social security numbers, that, you know, on for when they go to another financial institution. Because once you have these red flags with another institution, another banking institution, these other banking institutions are going to be like, well, wait a minute, what? We don't want your business here. So you also have to remember that. So they have now struggled to get answers on what exactly happened, and with this harsh action. So Anthony Anesi, A-N-E-S-I, he is the Chase vice president. He told Mr. Stephen Rye in a voicemail that he asked for the reason and was told for legal reasons, they can't tell you. They're not going to tell you why they're closing the account. Okay, well, if this is my account and this is my money, I want a reason. This is affecting me. It's not affecting you. It's not your money. It's not your livelihood. What do you care? Tell me. But they're not. So it's not a guarantee. Once they put in for reconsideration, they will keep those accounts open. There's no guarantee of that here. So they are going to try, because they said you're a good client for our institution. Well, yeah. Because once you've got all this money in the bank, of course you're a good client. Of course. Makes them look good. But that's what this Chase VP said. So now Mr. Rye said, Mr. Stephen Rye, said that in phone calls with Chase representatives, they said changes were made in the back end and that they cannot access the back end to see the changes. Well, wait a minute. Once they pull up your account, they can see everything. So the back end. So what does that mean? The higher ups? What do they do? Put little things in there so no one can see, only but them? So Mr. Stephen Rye said that he believes that Chase either based its decision on illegal acts from account holders, which he said did not take place, or from Chase itself, which could run afoul of a new Florida law that bars banks from denying services to people for religious, political, or social beliefs. But it can still happen. So Chase has refused to provide any reason for the debanking. I'll get into debanking in a second. So they won't say, hey, what's this wire for? What's this transaction for? We've been doing business them forever. That's what Mr. Rye said. Even in that voicemail, Tony, the VP, who we've known forever, they said, you guys are great customers. I don't know why this is happening. If the VP doesn't know why this is happening, then where's this coming from? So he added, I think it was a little bit surprising of the timing. So I find it a little bit unusual. So I can only speculate. I don't know why they did it, but we've looked at everything in our records. There's nothing that we did. Even if the decisions are reversed, it would be hard to trust Chase enough to keep the accounts, Mr. Stephen Rye said. He and others are preparing to move their money to other institutions before the deadline, and I don't blame them. But a spokesman for Chase said in an email that most account closures are done for anti-money laundering or identity verification purposes. So identity theft reasons, I'm guessing. I could be wrong. But for privacy reasons, they said, we can't discuss customer relationships, but we don't close accounts because of political affiliations, and we didn't do so in this case. Bullshit. That's what I say. So Mr. Anesi, the VP, did not respond to a request for comment when MSM is reaching out to them, because I'll tell you in my next thing what I'm about to say. So Robert F. Kennedy Jr., he is running for president, and he is among those decrying what happened. Okay. He even said that it looks like Chase is shutting down long-time accounts of Mercola's companies, employees, and their family members, and no reason is being given. He even said, I wonder if it has anything to do with their medical descent. And Mr. Kennedy, he even wrote on Twitter, no payment platform should be allowed to discriminate against people for exercising their right to free speech. This is exactly what is happening. I don't care what anybody says. So, what is the history of debanking? Okay, because I use that term, so I want to explain what it means. Chase has a history of shutting down accounts of people with certain beliefs. Chase shut down accounts of 3 right-wing personalities in moves that did not appear to be based on any official company policies, and that included an account for Martina Mercota, and that's Markota. All right. Now, she is a performing artist turned reporter who had worked for the Daily Caller and the Rebel, and an account for the Proud Boys chairman Enrique Tarrio, Tarrio. So Chase stopped providing services to Mr. Tarrio just one day after a reporter claimed an online store he owned was linked to the Proud Boys, which was described as a hate group. So like I said in my previous video, say you are working for a company, okay, or even if it's a small mom and pop, and they just so happen to put something out on their social media, and their banking institution finds out, and the banking institution also you do business with, okay, and they happen to see that your account is linked to their account because your paycheck is coming from their bank account. Well, they're going to shut down their bank account. Why? Because they don't like what they have to say on social media. So in turn, because they see that you are their employee, they will now shut down your account as well. Okay. So a spokesman for Chase said at the time that the events were unrelated. Again, BS. Okay. So They also said that he has gotten an email from us and we have repeatedly talked to him with very clear reasons. He knows why, the spokesman said. If he agrees in writing that I can share that email with you, I'm happy to do so. But as it stands, I'm not able to share it. Whatever. So she also said, we have never and would never shut down any account due to a political affiliation. And once again, that's BS. So in a recording to a call between Mr. Tarrio and a Chase representative, the Chase representative called the account closure mind-boggling, adding, I see nothing that indicates any reason why the account should be closed. Really, because it is. And it's all because of what they stand for, what they believe, and their political stance and everything else. So there's that. So this explains a little bit more on the history, the debanking, and what's currently going on, and what the foreseeable future is with Chase Bank. All right, guys, I'm out of here. I'll see you in the next one, okay? You stay safe, you stay positive, you keep prepping, and as always, fearless. Ciao.